Welcome back to New Rockstars. I'm Erik Voss, and let's react to the official trailer for Superman coming to theaters this July. In this video, you're gonna see my live reaction to this trailer. Afterwards, I'll give my quick thoughts and then cover some of the highlights from the trailer. And then tomorrow will be my in-depth frame-by-frame breakdown of all the details and clues in this trailer. But after you're done watching this reaction, join the conversation over on the Break Room channel where we're going to be answering your questions, hearing your theories in a live stream Q&A. Also, New Rockstars is going to be revisiting the 1978 Richard Donner Superman the movie with a special breakdown and analysis coming to the channel next week. We've been working on this for a while and it's one of my favorite videos we've ever done. And if you want to see that video early and ad-free, consider hitting that join button and joining us as a channel member. Okay, ready to do this? Let's watch.
Are you being serious right now?
Yeah.
You'd let me interview you as Superman.
Ooh, she knows. Okay, interesting.
Ready?
Let's do it, Cronkite.
Superman.
Miss Lane.
Interesting.
Recently,
that
you've come
she
under a lot
knows
of
who
fire
he
for
is.
what some
It's a
might.
lot of
It's
fire,
a lot. Today, the Secretary of Defense said he was going to look into your actions.
Oh.
That's funny.
My actions? I stopped a war.
Maybe.
Not maybe. I did.
In effect, you illegally entered a country.
This is how you're gonna be?
I'm not the one being interviewed, Superman. Did you consult with the president?
No.
You seemingly acting as a representative of
I
the
wasn't
United States
representing
will
anybody
cause more
except for me.
problems around the world.
And doing good.
I would question myself in the same situation and consider the consequences.
People were going to die.
Wow. This music is so great.
Hey, buddy. Eyes up here.
Oh, he flies so fast. The speed of this man. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. The engineer is devastating.
Your actions. That's what makes you who you are.
Superman. He's not a man. He's an it. That's somehow become the focal point of the entire world's
looks
conversation.
Gorgeous.
I will not accept that.
Oh my God.
I cleaned your boots. I'll go get them for you.
Shit. Woo.
You have a dog?
Oh. Woo. Oh my God. So this trailer just looks so good. And this is like, you know, a proper trailer that tells us a bit more of the plot of the movie. It reveals like what, not just the tone of the movie, but really the shape of this movie in terms of its story structure, in terms of its character dynamics, in terms of its stakes, and the action, yes, but the way the action's gonna look, the flight cinematography, the lighting, the way the music is cut to this trailer, hinting at the way it might be cut to the movie. This is just gonna be an experience. I mean, I'm hearing really good things about this movie from some early test screenings. I don't know how much of those are accurate, but like we also hear reports about test screenings for other movies, and often it isn't the case. And there's a lot of people rooting for this movie to fail. And you would think that some of the reporting of these test screenings would be a bit more mixed. It sounds almost universally positive. I think that's obviously a big relief for Warner Brothers. Now, there's a little bit less writing on this movie for the Warner Brothers studio this year. Warner Brothers has had some surprise hits with Minecraft and Sinners, which takes a bit of the pressure off of Superman. I think that's gonna be a healthy thing for the movie. I think it will do very well, but it doesn't have to do astronomically really well for Warner Brothers and DC Studios to have a successful 2025. Look, if you've made it this far into the video, we know you're a diehard fan, and if you're a collector, you know all too well how good it feels to add a new item to your collection. When you see a limited edition figurine or poster or hardcover art book that you know is going to be the perfect fit for your shelf, you've got to get it now before somebody else scoops it up. For those times when you want to shop, you want What's Not. What's Not is a live stream shopping app where you can buy, sell, or auction literally anything. For instance, we just bought a Yavin 4 Rebel base Lego set, a near mint Sentry #1, and a Punisher Funko Pop signed by John Bernthal. Ask you something. You want a Bernthal Funko? You got yourself one. And guess what? They're not for us. They're for you. We are doing a giveaway of these collectibles that we got from Whatnot, sponsored by Whatnot. Just comment down below with your Whatnot username and which item you'd like, and you'll be entered for a chance to win one of these. In the meantime, why not check out Whatnot for yourself? Whatnot Con is happening May 15th to 18th, and it's the ultimate digital con with major moments across comics, toys, and TCG that you do not want to miss. If you use our link to sign up, you'll get $15 off your first purchase, redeemable anywhere on the app. Then you can come back and comment with your username to be entered into the giveaway. So again, my in-depth Easter egg breakdown of this trailer is going to come to the channel tomorrow. I can tell there's just a lot of interesting details in the way these shots were composed, and the VFX choices and the acting choices that I'm really excited to dig into. But just to kind of cover some highlights and try to answer some questions that I had immediately upon watching this trailer. Yeah, out of the gate, they reveal that Lois Lane knows that Clark Kent is Superman in this movie. There's a big interview sequence that James Gunn has mentioned in interviews taking up 10% of the movie, which I thought might have been a misprint or something taken out of context. But now it seems like at least a big chunk of the movie will be centered around an interview sequence that might cut away from and back to Lois and Clark as they're talking this through. But I think this also makes it less of a dramatic irony fest when the characters could just be straightforward and honest with each other, and allows the characters to just really mine each other. Because Lois Lane is a sharp reporter. We want to see her on top of her game, and I think this kind of interview is a good way to do it. I'm looking at this shot of her tape recorder. It says Lord Tech on it, which is interesting. Obviously a reference to Maxwell Lord, who's going to be played by Sean Gunn. We saw Maxwell Lord in the Peacemaker trailer. I'm gonna try to get to that in another video coming soon, but he was a character played by Pedro Pascal in Wonder Woman 84, but he's gonna have a different role in James Gunn's DCU. He's gonna be gathering some kind of Justice League as a Peacemaker that's gonna include Nathan Fillion, Guy Gardner, Green Lantern, and Isabella Merced as Kendra Saunders, Hawkgirl. We also know from that Peacemaker trailer that Frank Grillo is playing the live action version of Rick Flag Sr., a character that had a different looking animated version in Creature Commandos, but he's gonna have darker hair. And in this trailer, they seem to suggest that he might be the Secretary of Defense, or I think we just cut to him on Secretary of Defense, but we also cut to Lex Luthor when Lois asks if Clark consulted with the president for anything. I think that might have just been coincidental, but either way, Rick Flag Sr. is part of the US military establishment, and there's a shot where Superman's being arrested by Rick Flag and Ultraman and the Engineer, and we know of another shot where the Engineer is with Lex Luthor and the Fortress of Solitude wiping out Superman's robots. Why is Lois using a Lord Tech tape recorder when we've seen LexCorp logos on other electronics in this footage before? I wonder if there's a fear of any technology built by the company owned by Lex Luthor might have some kind of backdoor way to spy on journalists and use that information against them. This trailer gives us our first sense of how David Corenswet is going to sound as both Clark Kent and Superman in this movie. However, the fact that in this interview with Lois Lane, he's not posing as Clark Kent, this is probably more of his Superman voice. And I love seeing his raw emotions here. He's defensive of his actions. He thinks he stopped a war. He thinks he doesn't have to check in with these corrupt political figures. Some of the new action we see in this trailer is Superman battling what's called the Hammer of Boravia. So Boravia is a country that's at war with another country called Jarhanpur. It probably has a different pronunciation. I always get it wrong. Sorry about that. But the Hammer of Boravia was on a news headline that we saw in the December teaser. It's this big, metallic, juggernauty looking thing that in this shot is blasting some kind of heat vision laser through an office building. And the VFX look pretty good here. I think what I really like about this trailer is it shows like a blend of a vulnerable, beaten down Superman, but also gives us enough of Superman's power set to just get us really excited. excited. This moment where he goes, hey buddy, eyes up here, and then blasts off into the sky. It's the kind of sense of humor that I think Superman should have when he's in the midst of these battles. It's the kind of sense of humor Christopher Reeve had when he played Superman and Clark Kent. Yes, he was a Boy Scout, but he was able to have fun while he was helping people because he understood that everyone had their eyes on him at all times. And if he looked overly serious and morbid when eyes were on him, people would panic. Okay, as I'm scrubbing back through this trailer, I'm seeing some stuff in here that I really just want to spend more time with. So I need to get started working on the in-depth frame-by-frame breakdown, but I would like to just react to it one more time because I feel like my first reaction is always kind of like, let me just, see everything and hear everything. And the second time I react to it, I always find new things to react to. So I thought it'd be fun to react to it a second time. All right, reaction 2, go.
Are you being serious right now?
You can see LexCorp Towers in the back of that
You'd let me interview
shot of
you.
Metropolis.
Sure.
Ready?
Let's do it, Cronkite.
Superman.
I like that Cronkite exists in this universe, which he should, because this is, it's based on our tradition of journalism.
It's a lot. Today, the Secretary of Defense said he was going to look into your actions. That's funny?
My actions? I stopped a war.
Maybe.
Yeah, but the Secretary of Defense
Not
doesn't want
maybe.
you to
I
stop
did.
a war.
In
They
effect,
benefit
you
from worldwide
illegally
wars.
entered a country.
Mark Wade
This is how you're gonna
referenced
be?
on the
Not the
street
one
sign
being
there.
interviewed, Superman. Did you
Ultraman
consult with
cracked him into the
president?
pavement. So it's pretty strong.
You seemingly acting as a representative of
I
the
wasn't
United States
representing
will cause
anybody
more
except for me.
problems around the world.
And doing good.
But you do by wearing red and blue in your colors. A lot of people do think you represent the U.S.
The consequences.
People were going to die.
Oh, are those Mr. Terrific's bots, drones that are following them around? Are they trying to help, but they're making things worse?
Hey, buddy. Eyes up here.
I love this shot so much. Oh, that was something. Just so Crypto, it just looks incredible.
Choices.
He punched her. God, this dog's fun.
Actions. That's what makes you who you are.
Superman. He's not a man. He's an it.
I think I'm really gonna love Nicholas
Somehow
Hoult as
become the
Lex
focal point
Luthor.
of the entire world's conversation.
He's bringing in some
will
Michael Rosenbaum
not.
a little bit, but I think that's a really good thing. I love
Accept
Rosenbaum's
that.
take on Lex.
I cleaned your boots. I'll go get them for you.
I'm glad to see Ma Kent. I was really worried about Ma Kent for this. To see the way influencers and journalists will be at war with each other is also super fun. I mean, I hate.
Do you have a dog?
Yeah. Mighty Crap Joy's poster. I mean, James Gunn's gonna have some fun music in this. You know he will. I don't really like having to choose which movie I'm more excited for in July, this or Fantastic Four First Steps. Can I just be excited for both? I mean, both movies seem to be going for something bold. Superman seems to be going more for, can we hit you in the feels? Can we make you believe again? Can we restore a sense of hope and a need to go escape by going to a cinema and being inspired by characters rather than just being disappointed by characters? There is something wholesome and virtuous about what they're going for in this movie. There does seem to be some humor, but it's not going for as many jokes as James Gunn typically goes for. And I think that's essential. But I think we have to be okay with Superman cracking jokes every now and then. That is part of the DNA of the character. And it's what most moviegoers who have been watching Superman on screens since 1978 have expected from the character. Again, go rewatch Christopher Reeve, Richard Donner, Marlon Brando, and Gene Hackman and Margot Kidder crushing shit in Superman 1978, because what made that movie so great wasn't just a groundbreaking visual effects and special effects, wasn't just great music, it was amazing camera work by Richard Donner and his team. It was amazing acting by this cast who were able to inhabit spaces like newsrooms and make them as bustling and as vibrant and as essential as what they appeared to be in movies like All the President's Men and Network. There was something about the 70s, Watergate, Vietnam, that just made American journalists so essential. And as a journalism major, that's something that I'm praying to see from this movie. There's a reason why so many of our comic book superheroes have gravitated toward the career of journalism. And I think it's because they're trying to expose truth and they understand how many journalists are on the front lines of the war against truth. So yes, join us over in the Break Room channel for a Q&A live stream that we're going to be doing today. And be sure to come back tomorrow to the New Rockstars channel. I'm going to try to find all of the Easter eggs and details hidden in this trailer. Go to nerdriot.shop. We have so many great designs. We have some really great DC inspired designs. We're going to be having even more throughout the year. And my hope is that by the end of this movie, we'll have both a restored great MCU and a new DCU that we're kind of equally excited about. You know, I feel like in July, we're going to be eating good. This is a good time to be a fan of comic books. Comment down below with your thoughts on this trailer. And a special thanks to one of our YouTube members, Cameron, who supports us at the executive producer level. Follow me at Erik Voss and subscribe to all 4 channels in the New Rockstars network for breakdowns and news coverage of everything you love. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.